Hello, buddy. Crow here, and I just recently finished Deadpool for the PS4, and I kind of want to do a quick video on it. I've been normally doing these videos where I kind of talk a little bit about the game after I've beaten it, and I started doing it with, I believe it was Batman Arkham City, and then what was funny was after I beat Batman Arkham City, I was going to move on to Deadpool. But then the whole Shenmue 3 Kickstarter came up, so I did Shenmue, and then I did Shenmue 2. And then a couple other games came up that I wanted to play instead. And I can't remember what they are offhand. I know Mario Maker was one of them. And it's funny. Oh, Mad Max. I was itching to play Mad Max. So once I got through all those games, I was going to play Deadpool, and I originally bought it on the... Actually, it's funny, is I didn't buy it on the PS3. My wife actually bought it for the PS3, and I was like, oh, I'm going to play that game. And I actually played a little bit of it, but then I put it on the shelf to play other stuff. So that came out in 2013. So now it is. Here it is, 2015. And I'm like, yeah, I'm finally going to play Deadpool. And I happen to find myself at like a Walmart, and I look on the shelf. I'm like, what? There's a PS4 version of it now? And it kind of was like, oh, do I want to just play the PS3 version, or if I'm going to play the game, do I want to get the PS4 version? And I wound up going out and getting the PS4 version from Toys R Us. I think they had a sale, and I had like a $15 credit. So I was like, yeah, I'll just play it on the PS4. So I bought it on the PS4, even though I really didn't need to. There's really no difference between the PS3 version and the PS4 version. Even, graphically, it's pretty much the same. It might just be at a higher resolution. The only other difference is that the PS4 version includes all the DLC, which is really not all that much. In fact, I didn't even really notice it playing it through the game. But what's funny is that ultimately, the game was a lot shorter than I was expecting it to be. And it just may be because of the games I had been playing recently. I mean, Mad Max and... Shenmue 2, and Batman, all the games I've listed before. I spent about like a month each on each of those. This Deadpool game, I beat it in about 8 hours of game time. And the reason I know it's 8 hours of game time is because I captured all the footage for it. Now, I'm not going to be posting all the footage. I was just doing that for, maybe videos in the future, like this one, for example. And I'll probably put a quick clips of Deadpool on my other channel. But let me just talk about the game a little bit. For starters, yeah, the game was a bit shorter than I was expecting. And, who knows, maybe 8 hours is a good, runtime for a single-player game these days. I just don't know. Because I don't really play games like this that often. But since it was Deadpool, since I am into kind of weird and crazy games, and Deadpool is kind of a weird and crazy character, I really wanted to play it. So, again, this video is going to be pretty short because there really isn't too much to say about the game. Deadpool uses swords and guns. It's kind of like there's a little bit of platforming in it. But other than that, it's really all heavy on the jokes. For the most part, you are running through, hacking and slashing people, gunning people down, depending on, however you want to do it. But then, really, it only really stops, and maybe the gameplay just changes a little bit, just to change things up a little bit. And, there's a lot of jokes thrown in there. I mean, there's really kind of two plots to the game, if you think about it. And neither one of them is very in-depth. Really, the whole game is about Deadpool wanting to be in a game. And he frequently reminds you of that the whole way through. And, that's his character. He breaks the fourth wall frequently, and it is pretty amusing when he goes into an area and the game is broken.
Hello?
Peter! Hey, I was just running around my game, and all of a sudden I noticed that some shit was fucked up. What's up with that?
That happens from time to time, and he'll call up to developer, be like, hey, what's going on in my game, blah, blah, blah. But then the other plot is that he goes out on a mission, and it ultimately leads to him going after Mr. Sinister. And that's pretty much the whole game. You got these whole two parts intertwined. Lots of goofy stuff happens, and it's actually kind of amusing. I mean, it's worth playing, but like I said, it's really short. It really doesn't pretend not to be a game. Let's just say that. The icons for picking up health, picking up your weapons and or ammo for your weapons, and just points are just, you know, as kind of video gamey as you can get. They're just floating out there for no discernible reason. You just run over and collect them. And yeah, I love Deadpool can level up. He gains these Deadpool points, and you could use them to level up your abilities or weapons or whatnot. And at the end of the game, I still hadn't bought everything. On your second playthrough, you can kind of leave off the level character that you had, start again from the beginning, and try and level up everything. I don't know if I'm going to do that. It would be kind of interesting to play through the game again, even more powerful than I did the first time. But you know what? The game is very, very linear. It's not going to change at all. There's really no exploring, and you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, the game is meant to be funny. I think that's the whole. The game is trying to be funny, and really the gameplay is kind of second to that, I think. As for difficulty, I played it on the medium difficulty setting, and I didn't play it on hard. It really didn't die too often, and when I did, it was usually my fault, and I really didn't die because of the same reason again. Except at the last boss, who I didn't even realize was the last boss at the time. I died a lot, over and over and over. Even had to take a half-hour break from the game. But when I came back to it, I changed my strategy slightly, and was able to beat it no problem. Speaking of the last boss, I don't want to ruin anything for anybody or anything, but the last boss did seem kind of like a lazy type of last boss. To me, it felt like, I don't know if you played the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game, but how the last boss in that just kept cloning himself again and again just to make it a little bit more difficult. That's pretty much what it was like. But yeah, I would recommend this game, but not at full price. It kind of needs to be, you know, I think $20 is a good price point. And I know for PS3 it's $20 on that price. It's about double that price on PS4, but I'm sure if you wait, it'll just come down on PS4 too. I might run through it again sometime in the future just to see the jokes again. But again, I've captured everything, so I don't really need to. I think I'll just leave it at that. I don't think there's any reason to go on any further. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Oh, Wolvie, time to wake up.
Rise and shine, Stubby. Wake up. Up and at 'em. Fine, then. That's for all the clown jokes. That's for never calling just to say hi. That's because I get aroused when I slap people. That's for all the furry midgets in the world. That's because I feel like it. Why won't you wake up? Wake up! That's because the player keeps mashing the button. That's because I like slapping fleshy things with this hand. That's for being in more comics than me. That's for making me love you. That's for making me hate you. That's for never taking us to the prom. That's for always working late. That's for being short. That's for stabbing me in the heart. Literally. That's for never letting me fly the Blackbird except when I crashed it. That's for being the worst wingman in bromance history. That's because I want to see if the player will keep doing this. That's for all the hot gamer girls out there. Hey, call me. That's for being a total douche. That's for never washing the dishes. That's for last year's white elephant gift. Who wants a white elephant? And finally, that's because the whole setup just added 5 minutes of bonus play to the most awesome game ever devised by Mutant or Man. I guess he's not waking up.